thank you very much for agreeing to come on because it's half an hour of your time to sit and talk about
No, it's all
cancer.
right. I like to say like it's just about like I say like spreading awareness and then trying to get people to understand a bit more of what it's actually like because yeah, like I say, it's not fun,
It's
but
not.
we can all we can do is just try do the best with things that we learn from going through it, really.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, what's your what's your journey been like? How long have you been on it?
So nearly 2 years now, to be honest. I
Okay.
got diagnosed in July 2024 and then just got just completely out of the blue. And it yeah, just sort of every plan that I had for the rest of that year and even gone up up to that point just completely stripped away and then everything completely changed and unfortunately I didn't really get much say in the matter.
No, no, cancer tends to show up and everything
Yeah,
stops.
yeah,
Um,
exactly.
like the identity of who you were and who you are and who you want to be, they all just kind of everything scatters. Like,
Quite literally.
yeah, my son can't remember before his diagnosis. He can't remember anything.
Yeah, I remember very little to be honest, and then I don't resonate much with who I was before that. Like in such a short amount of time, it's like everything's completely changed, and it was just a yeah, it's a strange thing.
How long did it take you to get diagnosed? It took us a long time. It took us about 6, 9 months, but was it quite quick?
Wow.
You said it was out
Yeah,
of the blue
like
for you.
I speak to quite a lot of people, and they say to me, "Oh, like how long did it take for you to find out, and what was the process like?" Because they're going for scans and they're not getting much answer, and like they're just having such a difficult back and forth. But from my experience, it was so quick. It was like I went to the GP because I was under the impression I had a chest infection. Well, that is the assumption that I made, and then I just got brushed off with, "Yeah, sweet, you've got a chest infection. There's some antibiotics.
Mm.
See you later." And then it was my mum really that sent me back. She had like a weird mother's instincts. She's
Yeah,
like, do me a favor, just go back. And I work in construction, so if I don't go to work, then I don't get paid. Full stop. Like I don't get no sick pay. I don't get none of the benefits. So I was, oh, like I'm gonna miss another day's work for it. Blah blah blah. She was like just do it.
mm.
I was all right and fair enough, whatever. Just completely all right then. And then I went, and then I just said something isn't right, basically. And then it was a completely different doctor that I saw, and then he gave me the full once over. Like he completely checked me over, and that's when he found a lump on my neck, and he just said, "Right, you need to go for a chest X-ray and a blood test now."
Mm.
So I was all right, fair enough, whatever. And then I went for that, and then normally when you go to a GP to get a blood test, it will take weeks to get a reply, and then it was a couple after a couple of days. I I got a phone call and it said you need to go to casualty like now, and I was a bit like, oh,
Okay.
right then, fair
Yeah.
enough.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and I was all right, fair enough. And then he didn't say anything, so I went and got the papers from the GP, and he said you need to go to casualty. So I said, all right, fair enough. And then on the piece of paper it said possible underlying malignancy, and I didn't know what that meant. And then I googled it, and then it said cancerous, and I just went nah.
Yeah.
But my my mum worked in a hospital at that point, and she started getting worried. And
Yeah.
then, as any mum would, and then I was just like, nah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like as you would. And then went to A&E and was there for about 8 hours. And then I found out on that night they just said you've either got lung cancer or you've got lymphoma. So then I was just like,
Okay. They're both cancers. All right then.
yeah,
Okay.
brilliant. So
Yeah.
then
Oh,
mum,
fantastic. Yeah. Thanks for that. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
literally.
Yeah.
Then all my mum said was, so what you're saying is that my son's got cancer, because the nurse wasn't very direct. She was like trying not to say it to them. Like my mum just said, does my son have cancer? And then she
Yeah.
just went, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I just sort of put my head down and then just got silent, which is quite funny. I literally just made a video earlier talking about what was my reaction to getting diagnosed. And I just sat there like,
Yeah.
oh, right.
Yeah.
And then
Wow.
that was that was just sort of it. That was just the start of it.
Yeah. The two-year journey that you're have you finished treatment? Because I know you're going on a trip, aren't you?
Yes, in literally 2 weeks, I got 13 days, and then I go away for 4 months to go traveling around Southeast Asia. And then honestly, it's been a long time. Been a long time
Yeah,
coming. I started planning it about a week or two after my diagnosis. I said, once this is over, I'm going. And now
yeah,
it's finally come around, and I'm a bit like, wow, feels a bit surreal now.
yeah. But no, post loads of things about what you're getting up to, so I can sort of follow on. Because like we will never. He's finished. He never really had chemotherapy. Then he had an amputation of the limb, so he hasn't got a left leg. That's where his tumor was. And now it's in his lungs, and there's not a great deal other than trying to prolong the inevitable. So I live vicariously through other, I like to see what other people that have finished treatment get up to. So I want to be able to send you
Yeah,
likes
yeah, of
and
course.
send you likes
Yeah,
and stuff. Have more conversations about food that traumatize us from the past.
yeah, yeah. Quite,
Red
quite,
Fanta is
quite
never going to
literally.
be. Even though I didn't even have the chemo, and even I don't drink it. Um, but so you said that you're a construction, well, you're in construction,
Yeah.
and you've had to have time off to have all these treatments. Has there been any kind of support for you while you're going through that?
There was, yeah. Obviously, I don't get any of the benefits like sick pay, holiday pay. I don't get none of that. So if I don't work, I don't get paid. That's just full stop. And then I was quite lucky to have some money saved up that kept me afloat for a little while because as an adult, you've still got bills to pay.
Mm,
It just is what it is.
yeah.
And so I kept myself afloat with that. And then I just got in touch with um, like Universal Credit, and then I went to the job center, and they was really really helpful with getting me on track because I've never been on benefits in my life. I've always just worked
Mm,
and had a job, so I didn't know anything, and they helped me out with that, and then I got put on a it's called employment support allowance, and that just gave me some more money to keep me going. And then I was in touch with some charities that gave me grants, and then just to help me stay financially sort of like all right. To be fair, like throughout the whole process.
yeah, because I think that's one of the unspoken elements of being an adult that's being treated for cancer is that if you're self-employed, like what kind of support is available for you? No one really
Yeah,
talks about that, and it's a very real. You've got enough on your plate as it is, with
yeah,
the mental, emotional, and physical impacts of cancer itself, and then the treatment, and then having to worry about how you're paying to actually live somewhere. That's not that's not right. That's not.
yeah. No, it was definitely it was definitely one of the struggles. But as I
Mm,
say, the charities I was helped by mainly a Young Lives versus Cancer charity.
yeah.
That was that they was absolutely brilliant. I had a woman called Tracy. She was just an absolute gem. She couldn't have been any more helpful if she tried. And
Mm,
yeah, she put me in touch with loads of charities. I got loads of grants and stuff. And yeah, it just made the whole process a lot easier. And it was just one big weight off my mind. And it's just nice to know that there is genuine support out there from people that actually want to help. It's not just their job, because to be honest, I don't know why anyone would want a job like that. Not in my eyes, anyway. Like
mm,
I couldn't do it. It's just too sad and upsetting. No, not for me.
mm.
But yeah, some people really are passionate about helping people, and I couldn't be any more grateful for that.
Yeah. Yeah. So the Teenage Cancer Trust,
Yeah,
Teenage
yeah,
Cancer Trust look after my boy. They're brilliant. And Young Lives versus Cancer looked after him during his amputation. So like, yeah, they're great.
yeah.
Um,
Teenage Cancer Trust, they run the ward. I was at Nottingham City Hospital where I got all of my treatment, and then they run the teenage and young adults ward on that
mm,
in the hospital, and that's where I got all of my treatment done.
um, I can see why they get into that job, like outside of this, I'm a supply teacher, and it's just bringing little moments because no one knows if the next moment's going to come, and so they
Yeah,
give joy in that one moment. Um, so I could, yeah, I think if I wasn't a teacher, I would potentially think about doing something like that. But
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. It just
just
seems like
lightening the
such
load.
a Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It just seems like such a heavy job, and personally, not for me. Like I was having a conversation with my mum. So my oncologist is one of the best men I've ever met in my entire life. But I wonder all the time how he does a job like that because he'll have
Mm,
say a meeting with me, and he's giving me really good news about being in remission, and just giving me all thumbs up all of the time. And then
mm.
5 minutes later, he could give given me someone devastating news. And then
Yeah.
10 minutes after that, it's really good news. I just don't understand how to do
Well,
it.
I wrote a book for parents because like it resonated with me when you said that your mum had that mother's instinct because it was
Yeah.
me that kept pushing for my son to go back because just something wasn't sitting right with me. Um, and our oncologist was he wrote a piece on his perspective as a professional that's in the book that I published.
Wow.
Um, and he says that he does a lot of things to switch off. He does a lot of things. He doesn't live inside the job, and he gets a lot of joy from helping others. I think
Yeah,
that's
that
kind of the bottom line
that
of
I
it.
can
Like,
understand. Yeah.
yeah, and I think like I would like to make a case for the fact that our oncologist is also an amazing human being. I love him. Okay. He's always got funky socks on. I always like to go
Oh,
in.
brilliant.
If it's a video call, I ask what socks have you got on.
Yeah.
Um, but uh, have you had, in your experience, when you had to deliver the news that you had cancer to immediate family and then your wider social circle, how did you find people took the news? Because we got
Um,
all sorts.
to be honest, I didn't really want it. It took quite long for me to tell people outside of my immediate circle because I didn't
Mm,
want it. I didn't want to people. I didn't want people to think that I was asking for attention. I just thought,
yeah.
right, let me just deal with it by myself. So I didn't tell. I've got quite a large family. I'm one of five children,
Oh,
and
okay.
then I didn't tell my three younger siblings until about 2-3 months in
Oh,
because until my head started falling out, I didn't tell them anything because
mm,
I didn't know how to tell them.
mm,
And don't get me wrong, they're not young. One of them was 20, the other one was 17, the other one was 13 at times.
mm.
So they're not young, so they understand. But yeah, I didn't know how to tell them. But as you can imagine, quite a few people didn't take it great. But yeah, it was just a difficult conversation, and I couldn't be bothered to tell anyone else because it got so draining
Yeah.
telling people and then getting the same reaction, people getting upset, which is obviously understandable. But
Mm,
after a while, it just got, I was like, you know what, I just can't be bothered to tell anyone else because I'm going through it enough as it is, let alone trying to comfort
yeah.
someone after telling them. So I thought, right, after I told my immediate circle, that's
That's
just
it.
it. I'm
Yeah.
I'm just gonna keep it within me and my family, and then I just started making content about it, and that's how most people found out. Towards the end of my treatment was when I started making content about it, and that's where most of the people found out.
Yeah. Because I think it's from our experience, you either get people that look at you differently because they still see cancer as a death sentence, or the people that you don't want to burden them with it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
the like with my son, it's the identity shift. He doesn't mind being known as an amputee, but he keeps cancer in the background because he doesn't want
yeah,
people to
yeah,
see that first because people do.
yeah, yeah,
It's like wearing it on a t-shirt.
yeah,
Um,
100%.
yeah, but what was the motivation behind making content about it? I like asking about this because this is how I came across you, and I was like,
Yeah.
I want to speak to you. So what was it?
I don't really know, to be fair. I've always enjoyed making content. I've been making social media content for about 5, 6 years now, but I've never found the I don't know, like my it factor. I've not found something that I'm really passionate about making content about. I was making content. I've suffered with mental health problems ever since I was like a late teenager. So I was making content around that and motivation, and it just didn't really feel like right. I knew I wanted to make content, and I didn't know what about. And so I just thought after when I was coming towards the end of my treatment, I don't know what could be something that could work for me, to be fair. So then I do a lot of journaling. I'll advocate for journaling for mental health
Oh,
8 days a
absolutely.
week.
Yeah,
So I will always say to people to do that. So I started doing that about it, and I was like, yeah, let's
yeah,
let's start doing this, and it genuinely it's working. So
yeah.
now I found my it factor, I found my why, and I've got goals for where I want to take it. So yeah,
Amazing. Well, you ever need me to help broadcast what you're doing, you let me know.
I'll never say no.
No, well, that's my thing. So I platforms supporting platforms, not people that are just out there to like for likes. Like your content made me stop because I was like,
Right.
hold on a minute, and I resonated with it, and that's what made me hang on. Because not only is this the truth, it is unfiltered. It's not, some people perform for the likes to get the money in to pay for the medical bills, and you're not. You were sitting there telling the truth, and it was engaging, and that's yeah, that's your it factor. And if I can help spread that to help somebody else that needs to hear from you, I'll do it.
But that's all really what it's for. It's just
Yeah.
obviously like to help myself, like to build a platform, to build an audience, but getting responses from people. Like I get quite a lot of DMs. Like there
Mm,
was one woman that messaged me the other day, and then she just said that she's going through chemo at the moment, and she hasn't laughed in such a long time. And then I made a comment about dexamethasone, this steroid that I was on during chemo, and then she just said she couldn't stop laughing at it, and she really appreciates that. And
mm.
is that makes it everything for me. That makes the whole thing worth it. Aside from all like the likes, the comments, the followers, stuff like that, that is what
Yeah,
makes me want to do it more. So
yeah, that's
yeah,
it. The humor is a massive part of what's got us through it.
yeah.
Like you would think that we'd be really sensitive to the fact that he's only got one leg. Oh no, we exploit it all day
Oh,
long. All day
I feel
long.
like you get a free pass like to the jokes.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, the fact that his favourite character is Captain Jack Sparrow is utterly hilarious to me. It's a pirate. A one-legged kid loves a pirate. I think it's hilarious.
Oh, I love it.
It's just, yeah, no, we make jokes and he can give them back just as quickly, but it's our
Yeah,
way of coping. That's my message at the minute. Like, don't be afraid of the fact that you're laughing about something because it's difficult. You like, I'm a massive advocate for like since his cancer, I'm a runner. I've never run in my life. Like I run, I journal, like, yeah, massive, massive mental
yeah,
health support in the cancer space needs to be bigger, I think.
yeah. 100%. I agree. Like my immediate family, like there's quite a few of us in one house, and even though it was me that was going through the cancer, we all went through it collectively as a family,
Mm, yeah.
and we like the jokes are outrageous. So
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
like we all laugh about it together because we all understand. And now it's been quite a while. We've all become quite comfortable with it. It's something that happened. I'm well. I'm happy. I'm healthy. So that's all that matters. And now we just look back on it and right, like what a weird time.
But you wouldn't be who you are now. As much as I would love to be able to give people the growth that they go through and get to the person that they have become proud of becoming, but without the cancer. I would love to be able to
Yeah,
take cancer out
what
of the
one hundred
equation
percent.
and just the world would be a better place if everybody had the perspective cancer gives you, but without the cancer.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's impossible to give that
I, I know.
like without going through that. And like I see things infinitely different to how I
Mm,
did before. And yeah, I can't be more grateful for the lessons I've learned. like from it, and even just the little mundane things. Like I was just sitting at this very desk when I was going through it, and then I just said to myself, all I want is normal, just normality. That's all I want, because when you're going through it, life doesn't feel normal. You're just
Mm.
going to the hospital every single week, constantly getting blood tests, constantly getting like PIC line changed and stuff like that. And
Yeah,
I can't like it's just infinitely different to the life that I was used to. And then once I got back to work, and then my car broke down and I was fuming. And then I just said to myself, this is what I wanted,
yeah,
normal problems. So
yeah,
now when stupid little things like that happen, I try to be grateful for it, because this is exactly what I wanted.
yeah. It's like I forget that when I'm sitting in traffic, or I've had a busy day at school, or I forget that that's normality.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
that's and I think we get caught up in the little things, and then the cancer world drags us back in for one reason or another, checkups or scans, or um and then it's like a reset, and then we
yeah.
start again, and we're like, oh yeah, and it kind of gives us that perspective back. um but is there any unspoken truths you think, like, is there any particular message you keep going back to? I know you've mentioned mental health, but like, is there anything you go on social media regularly to spread? Because mine's the language
Uh,
you use has impact. So like, do you have one?
Mine is, I think the main thing is to tell people, like you said, like a lot of people, when they hear the word cancer, that word to them means a death sentence.
Yeah,
But my message is that it is far from it.
yeah,
So it is like, just a cancer diagnosis does not mean it's the end. That is my that's my quote. Basically, that's what I want to. I'm in the middle of writing a book at the moment. I've started that a couple of months ago, so that will be on the
amazing.
blurb, that will be on the front, that will be on the
Yeah,
back. That'll be everywhere. So that is the main message that I want to spread, and my biggest why for people.
yeah, it absolutely. I think that is the biggest misconception out of all of it. Life is not curable, and that's terminal too. It's like when
Yeah,
people
yeah,
say, "Oh, well, my son's eventually. We can only extend it. We can't cure it," and they go, "Oh, I'm really sorry." No, no, I could go before he goes.
yeah,
I
one
could,
hundred
like,
percent.
so life is just as fragile. It's just cancer makes you extra aware of it because it compresses time.
Yeah,
It's no different. So yeah, I will let me know when the book is out, and I will buy it.
yeah, perfect. I
Um,
appreciate that.
and I will repost anything relating to that, and I will keep sharing your messages, because this
I'm
this
grateful
will
for
go
that.
up, and it's just, cancer is not a death sentence.
Yeah,
It's
I,
not. There are so many changes medically that mean it's not. I did a podcast with somebody last week. She runs a charity up here in Oxfordshire, and she's said the same thing. She said instantly they hear cancer and think, oh, they need to get their affairs in order, and it's not the case. You don't need to
no.
instantly call Make a Wish and say that you want to meet, you know, Tom Hardy, or I'm trying to pluck names out of the
Yeah,
air.
yeah,
Robert Downey Jr. Um, it's not a case of that. It's just a case of, you need the right people behind you, because,
no, 100%.
you know,
And this is why I can't wait to go on my trip, because
I'm so
I
excited for
just
you.
I
So
can
excited for
honestly,
you.
it doesn't really feel real yet, and in 2 weeks' time I'll already be there. So
Yeah,
it's just, and I just really, that's the message I'm trying to push. And by going away and making content whilst I'm away, it will give people like a more of a
yeah,
fighting chance, because I know quite a lot of people that were in the same situation I was in. They just give up and they just think, well, this is just me now, and they
yeah,
don't really care whether they make it or not. But seeing someone come out the other end and
yeah,
living their life intentionally, that will, I hope, give
yeah,
them more like motivation to keep up a fight.
yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. I completely agree. Seeing you going on a trip that you've been planning since you began your journey
Yeah,
with
exactly.
cancer, and that I think it will hit you when you're in the airport. I think you'll be sitting there and going, this is it."
Yeah, I
Um,
think so.
and getting there and being able to do all the things that have kept you going during that time will help show somebody else that it's possible. I think possibility is it. That's the seed. And it's
Yeah.
just yeah, I'm really pleased that I reached out to you and
No,
we organised some time to speak. Let me know about the book. Let me know if you come across my feed that I'm just going to repost it, because now I know what the underlying message is. I feel exactly the same way. It's
yeah.
not a dead sentence, because life, like, there's no cure for that either.
No, no, absolutely not.
And
Like just
we're still living it. We still make fun
yeah.
of him. I'm not allowed to
Yeah.
plan his funeral, apparently. I've told him what I'm going to do, and he's gone, absolutely not.
I
Absolutely
feel like
not.
I thought like I'd say the exact same thing. Listen, look, if anyone's gonna plan it,
It's me.
I'm gonna plan it.
Oh no,
And I
he's
just
found out. He's found out what I'm going to do. He's found out what my plans are. So, just for illustration, he's a Star Wars fan. So I just mentioned that maybe the pallbearers would be stormtroopers.
oh yeah, I'd do that.
See?
I love Star Wars. I'm a right nerd for that. So
Is it, oh,
I'm
that dog's called Leia.
uh,
We've got a dog called Leia. They said, right, so we're going to dress everybody up as stormtroopers. We're going to have a flash mob and a Jedi fight. And he's like, no,
yeah.
no. So I'm having it. That's my funeral. Tough.
I dressed
I've got
I
it
dressed the
now.
baby I dressed the baby up as Yoda just for a laugh.
Yeah, let's put the dog. Dress the dog up as Leia. I'm pretty sure you can get a Leia
Yeah, yeah.
outfit for a dog. There we go. The dog can go.
Yeah, perfect.
See, this is the humour that keeps us going. So he had a biopsy last week, and we were there for 12 hours. I don't think I've laughed
Wow.
half as much as I did, like sitting waiting for him to wake up. Yeah,
Yeah.
but no, I agree. Cancer is not a death sentence.
No.
Um, Language, I think, shapes people's perceptions. If you tell them that it's going to be really hard, they believe you. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
my angle, which is
Yeah.
why we're
100%.
here.
I
Um,
always try to say like obviously like the truth of it. So it's not easy, like in the
no,
slightest, but it is not I'd say it's not the hardest thing in the world. Like you, you can get through it and
yeah,
yeah, just cancer cancer diagnosis does not mean it's the end,
it's the
not
end.
in
No, because
not
like if
in the
you,
absolute slightest.
yeah, like if you've got people, the right people behind you cheering you on, it makes it made it easier for Jacob. Um, but if you're someone that hasn't really got anybody, I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm here. I'm more than willing to cheer anybody on. I'm more than willing to be the ear for anybody, or to just sit in silence. I'll struggle with it, but I'll try.
Yeah, yeah, so would
Silence is not my strong suit, but I'll try. So yeah, I will keep resharing your message. I look forward to seeing your journey
thank you very much.
with Happy Danger. Um, and hopefully, if you ever want to come back on and talk about your book or about anything else that you've got in the pipeline, you are more than welcome.
Yeah,
More
yeah,
than
by all
welcome.
means. The book is called, well, it will be called The Second Chance Mindset. And that is something I've wrote the introduction for it at the moment. I'm just trying to do it slow and steady and make sure I get everything that I want to say into it because I'm still learning lessons
Yeah,
15, 16 months after. So I'm going
yeah.
to focus a lot on that whilst I'm away because I work quite a lot now, so I just write whenever I can. So when I'm away, I'll have a lot of downtime. So that is when I'm going to
Mm,
be trying and writing a lot, and that will give me a lot of inspiration to write and to just get my message across even more.
absolutely.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
that's brilliant.
but it has been an absolute pleasure and a privilege having you on.
Well,
It
thank you
has.
very much,
I'm
Ariana.
really,
I
really
really, really
glad.
appreciate it.
No, not a problem.